All right, welcome everyone. Just doing another tier list today. This time we're doing Pixar. So the funny thing about the Pixar movies is before I did this, well, let me backtrack actually. I basically, so I watched this YouTuber, Goldman. Highly recommend you guys watch him. He's really great. He does really great movie, TV show analysis. He does a lot of videos on like franchises, like franchise movies, franchise shows, franchises like as a whole. Dissects them, the history behind them, what's going on with them, and also individual reviews of like the movies and shows themselves. He's really great. I think he's really good. Definitely a sleeper YouTube channel. And basically, he made a video ranking all of the Pixar movies. And I've got a buddy who absolutely loves watching movies. It's like all he does, movies and shows. So he's the guy that I talk to when it comes to movies and shows. And I came to him and I was like, hey, I watched this YouTuber and he did a ranking of all the Pixar movies. You should do that. And then, funny enough, he told me, oh, I'm actually already planning on doing that. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it too. Why not? We can talk about every single one that we watch, kind of compare how we feel about them. And the thing about it is, I've only seen like 12 or I only saw like maybe 12 or 13 of these before like doing this kind of like binge. So a lot of them I hadn't even seen before. A lot of those classic ones I had seen, like a lot of the early ones, and then maybe like a few later ones. I'll try and make a note if I had seen them before, you know. But I'm just gonna basically rank all of these movies starting in release order, and I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on the movies too. And let's just jump into it. I've kind of wasted enough time. Uh, let's start with Toy Story 1. Now, Toy Story 1, it's the original, but I'm not gonna be like a nostalgic, blind like person. You know what I mean? Like if I don't think like if I don't think it's the greatest movie ever, despite being it's Toy Story, it's the first one, it's the first Pixar movie. I gotta rank it. Just how I feel. And the thing about Toy Story is that it is B. It's like a solid like 8 out of 10. Its pacing is great. The character development between Woody and Buzz is awesome. Woody is kind of a dick the entire movie. That's the point. But the thing about Toy Story is I just love the sequels more. Taking the characters after they've been established with each other as friends and then putting them in a situation, seeing how they respond to that as a group, as friends. I like that so much more. But the first one, it is iconic. It's an awesome premise. The thing about these Pixar movies is you could give me 1,000 years, I'll never come up with this. It's really cool. Toy Story 1 is like a solid 8 out of 10 movie. Short, great pacing. The humor is hilarious. I still laugh to this day. A lot of the jokes. Tom Hanks and his comedic timing is perfect. The script is tight. It's great. I love Toy Story 1. Bug's Life. Bug's Life is going to be. There's really only like 5 movies that I really don't like that much. It's going to be one of them. It's in the D. Don't get me wrong, like it's like a really unique premise. It's not the pacing is pretty good. I don't remember it as much, I'm gonna be honest. It was the second one I watched. I watched these back in September. I only recently started this channel and I thought it'd be really fun to kind of revisit this and actually make a video of me talking about it. So I have to kind of revisit my thoughts a little bit about it. But yeah, Bug's Life, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure I'm not the first person to point out the animation is kind of hits the uncanny valley. It's like Toy Story, they're toys, but like I don't know, something about the bugs, the way they look. It's kind of hard to just get attached to these characters. They just I don't know. They're kind of creepy looking. Don't get me wrong, it's a 6 out of 10 for me. It's a really decent kids movie. Like I could see, like I could put this on and I would enjoy it. I did enjoy it. It just, if we're gonna compare Pixar movies, all 29 of them, it's not gonna be anywhere near the top. But there are really good things in this movie. Like I love the story of it. I like the premise of like, there's not the grasshoppers, the ants outnumber them. I don't know what he says, 100 to 1. The moment they realize that, they're screwed. It's a really powerful message. I like the villain. I like the way he, intimidates, basically, enslaves the entire ant species basically and takes them over. And once they realize that all they have to do is team, everyone stands up. Once one person stands up and rallies everyone, like dominoes, it falls. And it's really great. I just, I don't know. It just doesn't really hit that much for me. I'm not gonna put it on if I'm looking for a Pixar movie, but yeah, I've spent enough time on A Bug's Life. Let's talk about the next one, Toy Story 2. I know I already hinted that I like Toy Story 2 and pretty much all the sequels more than Toy Story 1. And Toy Story 2, I think, is so much better. It's going in A. Toy Story 2 is an easy 9, 9 out of 10. I've always liked it a lot more than the first one. I think the introduction of Jesse is amazing. I think Al is a hilarious villain. And I also just, the antics that they all get up to, and I like the camaraderie with all of them. The gags of Buzz revisiting, almost kind of taking over Woody's, not his role, but like that part in the first, like almost the whole first movie where he thinks he's a toy and he kind of has to like, he sees the toy Buzz who thinks he's a soldier and he's kind of sitting there like, Jesus, like I was really like that. I think it's really funny. Um, Woody has a really like kind of powerful relationship that he builds with Bullseye, Jesse, even, obviously Pete. And I just think that the flashback with Jesse and I'm not gonna lie, I forget her name. It's her Andy. I thought that was really great. Toy Story 2 is an easy A. It Before I rewatched all of them, I was like, oh, Toy Story 2 is gonna be my favorite. Spoiler alert, it isn't. Um, but it's still really good. Easily in the top. Next one we've got is Monsters Inc. And yeah, it's what can you say? It's an A. Monsters Inc. perfectly paced, hilarious. The comedic timing, the script with Mike, the emotional stuff with Boo and Sully. It's so good. The premise is so creative. I love this movie. It's one of a lot of people's favorites for a reason. It's very cute. The monsters, you know, him. It's always, that begrudgingly taking care of a little girl trope that is so prevalent, but it's just, I mean, it works for a reason. The begrudging dad is a great trope. And I don't know, like the voice actors in all these movies, really, they always give it their best. And I think that this is no exception. Um, yeah, top tier movie. Easy 9 out of 10 for me. All right, next up, we've got Finding Nemo. Yeah, if you thought this was anything less than a 10, you're crazy. This is one of their best movies. I mean, the story of them being separated, a father and his son, and their journey to try and find each other, the dad doing everything he can, Nemo meeting this ragtag group of fish, bonding with them. It's so good. Like the pacing, everything keeps moving along. It's kind of like, first they're with the sharks, then the jellyfish, then the turtles, and then um I think it kind of comes to a head there then at the dentist's office outside and things start wrapping up. It's a well-paced movie. The dialogue is sharp, quick. Everything like they don't waste a second. Not a single line is a waste. Dory and Marlin's connection is awesome. Marlin and Nemo learning to understand each other's point of view without even being with each other. Like the situations basically like make them closer as they're like an ocean apart. And just, it's easy for someone to tear up. I'm not a dad, but I can imagine when the day comes, if I put this movie on, I'm really gonna like this movie even more. I already think it's one of the best. Really isn't that much else to say. I'm sure a lot of people have said a lot more than I did, but it's awesome. Definitely awesome. All right. The Incredibles. Yeah, spoiler alert, it's gonna be up here for like I don't there's nah, I won't spoil it, but yeah. The Incredibles is Amazing. I know I keep saying like good pacing, tight script. I'm gonna be saying that a lot, but this is the ultimate, like, perfectly paced movie. It's so quick because every scene matters, every line matters, every joke is woven into the plot, keeps things moving. You know, it's easy to be thinking, oh, it's just another superhero movie, but I mean, I don't really think of it like that. It's not like they're running around solving crime. It's like a mystery thriller. The moment like Helen gets on that island, the moment like really Mr. Incredible, the moment Bob starts getting hunted by Syndrome, I mean, the movie is on a track and it speeds forward. You're constantly being like pulled along for the ride and it just like the mystery reveals keep happening, the action is great, the humor is great. Not I don't have a script by the way. I'm just kind of talking about this. As you can tell, I'm kind of rambling, but I think it's awesome. I think the Kronos reveal is probably like one of the best Pixar moments of all time. It's so people like to call everything dark. Oh, it's so dark. Oh, it's so gritty. But really, it is. It's like brutal, really. And I just think it's awesome. Incredibles 1, I could literally put this movie on at any point of the day. I don't because if I do, I'll sit down and I won't stop watching it until it's done. Awesome movie, easily one of my favorites. And it's definitely one of the ones that I hardcore disagree with Goldman on. He had it really low. He just didn't. I mean, it's his opinion. I mean, I don't care, but he just didn't quite. It didn't hit for him the same way I feel like it does for a lot of people. It's easily one of a lot of people's favorites, and it's almost my favorite. That being said, let's move on to Cars. Feel like they had a pretty generational run, minus Bug's Life, and then you hit Cars, and it's so good. It's a 7 out of 10. It's pretty standard. I mean, Owen Wilson kind of elevates it. Mater, not really. You know, he's the funny, goofy guy, but, you know, classic, arrogant guy, the mentor, racing. I just kind of feel like the movie gets bogged down. It's got, like, a standard plot that you follow through, You know, he gets knocked down a peg, learns humility. The ending, part where he pushes that guy through the race so he can, finish his last race. It's awesome. Like I love that scene. The stuff between Lightning and Doc is really great. I just feel like Radiator Springs isn't that fun of a setting, honestly, and it isn't supposed to be because that's the whole point. But I do kind of feel like the narrative is a bit handicapped by the ugliness of it. I mean, the point is that he's going, it's the whole point. He's on this fast life and he gets like dragged down to a halt. Has to learn how to, understand, how to talk to people, build relationships, not to use people as stepping stones, but at the same time, it just, I don't know. I feel like this is gonna sound mean. I feel like this movie is more popular with kids. It's definitely there's adult jokes. Adults can enjoy it. I enjoy it. Like I said, it's a 7 out of 10. But I definitely this is kind of that toy selling movie, But still, it's still a 7 out of 10. All right, Ratatouille. Yeah, Ratatouille is like a solid 9 for me. Probably put it above Toy Story 2. Like I said, a premise where if you told me, okay, oh, the Pixar's making a new movie. Oh, it's about a rat who's in a guy's hat and the rat controls him so he can be a chef. The rat really wants to be a chef. I'd be like, wow, Pixar is really running out of ideas. What is that? And it's one of the classic ones. It's great. I mean, the food makes me hungry every time. When I was watching this, I went to Olive Garden right after. Not that Olive Garden is high class eating, but I was like, man, I need like I need to sit down in like a restaurant right now and eat, and I did. Ratatouille, I think it's a fun movie. It's not a deep movie. There's not a everyone can be a chef kind of message. It's neat and all, but honestly, it's just like a solid fun movie. 100% love this one. Okay, Wally. Might be controversial, but I don't think it's like the most amazing Pixar movie. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really cute. It's like a really cute movie. I feel like the pacing is a little, I don't know. It is bogged down a little bit by the fact that Wally doesn't really speak. And he kind of feels a bit of an active character. The plot kind of happens around him, but it's still, I mean, it's a solid 9. I really like the setting, the premise. It's very unique, and I really like the, the way that I like the way the story carries him through in a way that you kind of, it's like that look into reality, all the people on the chairs and they're overweight and stuff. Like, it's pretty easy to tell what it's trying to get the message at, and I think it's pretty good. I think it does a pretty good job at doing that. It's a really fun movie. It's up there with Ratatouille. It's a fun, cute movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Elemental in that way, which has also got a little bit of love. Well, not with Elemental, that the entire thing is a rom-com. But with this one. Next up, we got Up. And the thing about Up is it's so famous for like the first 5 minutes. And those first 5 minutes are probably, I mean, it could be like just a little short movie in its own right. It's, heartbreaking, it's beautiful. But the movie as a whole, it's not an S tier movie. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. But I just feel like the villain and the pacing of them being in what's the place? Something Falls. Hmm. I don't remember what it was called. Sorry, I apologize. But I do kind of feel like, and the dog and the bird, they all tie into the plot. I just feel like some stuff was there for cuteness, some stuff was there because it's like, oh, we need a villain. I feel like they had a unique opportunity to make it a really introspective. There's a scene when Russell and Mr. Fredrickson are by the campfire, and he's like, I don't know what the mom's name is or his stepmom, but let's just say it's like Lisa. He's like, oh, my stepmom, Lisa, whatever. And he's like, oh, you call your mom by her first name? And he's like, she's not my mom. And it's just like, he doesn't say much after that. It's just kind of, oh, okay. He kind of, got brought down to his level for a second. He thought I was just some stupid kid, but there's more to him than just that? Maybe he doesn't have parents the same way him and Ellie wanted to be parents? And I think they just needed a bit more of that. A bit less, I don't know, action? I don't know. But still, it's like a 9 out of 10. It's a beautiful movie. It made me cry like 3 times while I was watching it. Like the end, even that middle part when he finds, not in the middle, but when he finds more in the book, the ending, the beginning. I mean, it's a very emotional movie. Okay. Wait, we're already at Toy Story 3? Okay. Well, Toy Story 3 is the best. Toy Story 3 is a perfect movie. It's Toy Story, so it has the setting and the premise already in the lockdown. The voice actors, they kill it. They give it 100%. It's a prison break movie. It's a movie that's constantly putting these characters in situations where they have to deal and make decisions. They argue, they disagree, they try to cope. It has so many things going on, and every subplot and emotional problem and issue, they nail every one of them. It's so good. The villain is amazing. Lotso, that governor character, friendly face at first, turns out he's a bit of a monster. It's awesome. They nail it. His backstory, his crooked worldview, and how one man can take his anger and just control so many people, hurt so many people. And ultimately, he just can't be fixed. He's too far gone. I just love everything about this movie. It's everything you want. It's a perfect sequel and a perfect finale of a three-part series. I wish they made a fourth one, but actually, no, I don't. I'm glad they never made a Toy Story 4. It was perfect with just three. This is it. I know, I'm just being a dick. Um, Yeah, Toy Story 3 is amazing. Makes me cry at the end. I did. It's sad. It's cute. It came out at a perfect time. However many years. What was it? 2010? 2010. First one came out in what, 97 or 98? So like people who were kids then were growing up, and they never fail to to introduce difficult questions, and they force the characters to reconcile with them. They don't give them an easy way out. They make them try to figure out what they want, to know how they feel. It's really great. Next up, we've got Cars 2. Yeah, I said there was like five that I didn't really like. There's like two that I downright despise. It was the first time I saw it too when I was doing this, and it's Cars 2. There's only one that's worse than Cars 2. The only reason why Cars 2 isn't the worst is because there's some redeeming quality in like a little bit of the soundtrack and some of the action stuff. I mean, I really can't say much about this movie besides what people have already said a million times. Mater is the main character. No, they kill off like Doc Hudson, and it's like really weird, and like it ruins the pacing of a trilogy. It just has no connection to anything. It's a bad spy movie. It's a bad Cars movie. It's a bad Pixar movie. It's a bad movie. It's just it's just kind of garbage. I mean, it's cool that Michael Caine is in there, but I don't know. I it's one of those. It's one of only two movies on here where I was looking at my phone. I didn't. I'm not a phone scroller during movies. I didn't really just go around scrolling, but I was just like, can this end, please? Okay, no worry about Cars 2. I'm sure someone will be like, "Oh, Cars 2 is so slept on. Like people hate it too much." No, they don't. They actually probably hate it an appropriate amount. Brave, brave. Brave is overhated, but only slightly. It's mediocre. The premise is really cool. It's like a solid seven. It's forgettable. Easily one of the most forgettable. It's up there with like Lightyear, um, Cars 2. Cars 2 is so infamous, it's not really forgettable, but Finding Dory, Good Dinosaur, it's those like forgettable Pixar movies, which there's not a lot of them, but man, it's so forgettable. I think the first half is like really good. Like I love the premise. Granted, I'm not the audience for this, and I feel like the woman from an older time period who wants to be like a man, have wants to pursue the kind of aspirations that a man would usually have. That trope is just not only is it tired, but I can't relate to it. I'm not a woman. I've never had that problem. Doesn't mean I can't watch it and be like, damn, I empathize with that. I really like that. It's like powerful. I just don't think it I just don't think it really breaks any ground with it. The premise is really cool, but once the mom's the bear for a little bit, the pacing kind of drops. And I don't really think it picks up a little like the ending. I like the ending sequence with the bear, the evil bear, and I like the twist that he was the guy from the story or whatever, but I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's never gonna be someone's favorite. I mean, I'm sure it is, but it's never gonna be up there. But it's not bad. It's not horrible. Don't get me wrong, I really wouldn't put it on, you know? Maybe I should put it in D now. No, it's a C. I think it's fine. I think that the voice acting is really good. The visuals are really cool. We'll leave it at that. Monsters University. The thing about Monsters University, people are like, "Oh, there's a line where he mentions knowing Sully in kindergarten or at first grade or whatever." It's funny. I don't unfortunately know what the video was called or the creator, but I watched the video kind of about the making of this movie and how that they went back and forth and they wrestled with that line and how to properly integrate it. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm in that camp where if you have to retcon a one-off line that quite literally, if it was never in the movie, not a single thing would change whatsoever. It's not even a joke or like, he's like, "Oh, I knew you in the first grade." It's like whatever. You get rid of that line, nothing changes. Absolutely. It wasn't even, it's not a well-known line, a well-known joke. It's not important to the plot, characters. It's not important. So they retcon that one line to give us, in my opinion, a solid prequel. The character work, especially in the final act, is so good. the college setting, the monsters, their world, how they like, how it works, how these people I it's fascinating and I like that they deal with that concept of like you really want something, but you're not made for it, you know? Do what you're use what you're given. And then Mike does that. And him and Sully are that great team because of it. He's the brains and he's the bronze, but it's deeper. It's deeper than that. And once again, the characters you already love them in the original. Here, they're written, just as funny. Now they're a bit more arrogant, they're younger, it's like a little bit of a different twist. The dialogue is sharp as always, the jokes are funny. What can you say? I think it's pretty good. Oh, I haven't even ranked it. Yeah, it's an it's a B. It's a solid, very solid 8. All right, Inside Out. Inside Out is S. I thought it was awesome. I was on a trip um, while we were watching these movies, and I put it on in the hotel because I still wanted to watch them while we were out, and we were just going to bed. So I was like, let me put this one on. It's so good. I watched it for the first time. I know I was gonna say which ones I hadn't seen before. I'm pretty sure I've seen all of these. I had seen all of these before, except Bug's Life and Cars 2. But yeah, Inside Out. I had never seen that before. I thought it was awesome. It's emotional. I don't think it made me cry or anything, but it was just extremely unique, extremely well written, great plot, great pacing, well timed jokes. And I was never bored. I was just hooked constantly. I thought it was a great story and a great plot. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank a bit on what to say about this one in particular, but just know I really liked it. Okay. The Good Dinosaur. Yeah. 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 I'm sorry, but this movie sucks. I have never been more bored. Like, I was so bored watching this movie. The plot sucks. The premise sucks. The character design, the world looks realistic and he looks ridiculously stupid. The little boy is like the dog pet he's trying to take care of. It doesn't work. It just nothing in this movie works for me. Funny enough, I think the dad who plays Frank Heffley in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series plays a villain. I don't remember what his name was, like Night Terror or something. Terror Wing. I don't know. The pterodactyl guy. This movie is it's just a slog. It feels like literally nothing happens. And I don't feel anything. There was one moment where like he makes like the little figurines of his, to indicate his family, and it's like, oh, it's cute. But I don't think the boy is cute. It's just like this weird feral kid. The dinosaur is obnoxious. I hate his voice. I hate how he looks. I hate how he acts. I don't care to see him grow and become a stronger person. I just didn't care. Honestly, I was so bored. We didn't like this one. I feel like this era of I hadn't seen it before, by the way. First time. This is a bit of a weak era in Pixar, I think. Finding Dory. Yeah, let's see. I'm sorry. I have my list up. It's a I don't know why actually. Sorry, I forgot to put Brave above Cars and then Finding Dory. There. Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't remember really being in love with it. It was cute at some points. I liked the premise of it. Nemo and Marlin kind of felt a bit forced into it. Kind of just felt like Finding Dory. It felt like they were kind of forced a way to make that happen. Like, oh, she's finding her parents, or her parents were really trying to find her. Don't get me wrong, though. That scene when her parents had laid out the rocks in so many directions, hoping she'd find her way back, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was great. I really, really liked that scene. There's just a lot of kind of gobbledygook in the middle of the movie. I mean, how many times do we have to have Dory remembered something from 10,000 years ago because someone said a word and she remembers an exact memory that shows and tells her exactly what she needs to do next? Kind of lazy. That's the thing about the movie. I mean, they all put their heart into this. You can tell the voice actors, the animators, they all did a good job. It just kind of felt, I hate to say it, kind of felt like a cash grab, a decently made cash grab, but also the final act got a bit ridiculous, not gonna lie. I just don't plan on putting this one on anytime soon. You feel me? Okay, Cars 3. Cars 3 is just slightly better than Cars 1. Dips a bit in the middle, but I'm a sucker for the aging hero story. I think they did a good job with it, you know? He realizes like he just can't that like I love when they have to make the hero deal with something. They don't let them put it off. They do. They try for as long as they can, but he comes to the fact to realize that his body can't beat the new cars out there that are racing. He just can't. He had his time and it's done. And I like the way they introduced the protege. I thought it was actually really good. They had her as the mentor first. I thought it was really unique. I liked it a lot. Um, Nathan Fillion, of course, the sleazy businessman guy. You could tell he was going to be a bit of a dick at the end. You could just tell the way he was written. First time watching the movie, by the way. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the whole Doc Hudson situation. Apparently, the guy did die, I guess, the actor. But man, that second movie basically being non existent in this trilogy and Doc Hudson being gone pretty much killed any of the emotional weight with Doc Hudson in this movie that he was supposed to have. Like I felt it a little bit, especially when the guy who used to race with him was like, "Oh, Doc, the best part of his life was being a mentor to you." That was really, really nice. It just didn't hit as it was supposed to because, well, we only really saw a little bit of Doc in the first movie, and that's it, you know. So it it's just I honestly 1 and 3 they're really just the same to me. Not much else I can say. Coco. Yeah, Coco is amazing. I cried a little bit at the end. It's beautiful, unfathomably unique. I think the villain and the twist and everything was great. A very, very well done twist. I knew the guy turned out to be bad, but I didn't know the other guy was actually his great grandpa, Hector. No, Hector. Crap. Hector was the famous guitarist, and then the other guy. No, no, Hector was the other guy, and then he had a fancy name, I forget. But yeah, the visuals and everything was really cool. Love the story, the pacing, the plot, everything, the characters. It was super emotional. The part at the end, the Remember Me song with the grandma, it was so good. They cooked hard with this one. And we're going to get a sequel like 10 years after the fact. Do I think it needs one? No. But yeah, what can you do? Sometimes you need to make sequels if you want to go ahead and fund the unique new IPs. I get that. Okay, Incredibles 2. Yeah, Incredibles 2. A lot, very controversial. It's probably the best out of C. I've got it at like a 7. The thing is, it's Incredibles. It's the characters that I love. It's them, doing heroic things. Bob Odenkirk, like, while I do feel like there's a bit of mischaracterization, it just feels so cool to see them again so many years after the first one. Still, though, it lacks a lot of what the first one did. The first one was sharp, well paced, humor written into the scenes, everything's constantly moving, a thrilling plot. Dude, the villain was gonna be the lady or the guy. I mean, come on. If you didn't tell that from the very beginning, from the moment you met them, you did something wrong. You weren't paying attention. They don't even show it to you. You just know. There's like 4 other characters in this movie. It's one of them. And what I was saying about like the pacing and the jokes, in this movie, they just dedicate so many scenes to just jokes that don't go anywhere. They're just jokes, like an entire sequence just for a joke. Or so many subplots that don't go anywhere with Jack and his powers. It doesn't amount to anything. They just use him a little bit at the end. Tony Ridinger, it's just to give Bob a little bit of stuff to do kind of when he's home. Like There was just so many like the first movie didn't have those subplots. They just had the plot basically, and just everyone had a role they were playing unknowingly into it. The second one is just a lot of subplots and unnecessary jokes, and it's long, man. It's like one of the longest ones. And like the thing is, you'll see some like deleted scenes, right? There's like that funeral deleted scene, the memorial service. It's a nice scene. People were like, "Oh man, how did this not make this? Why didn't this make the movie? It would have been so good." Bro, they don't have enough time in the movie left to put any other scenes. It's too bloated as it is. Like you see some deleted scenes from the first movie. Like I think there's one where like the insurance guy gets his memory wiped, and it's like, "Oh, this is a cool scene. Why isn't this in the movie?" Because you don't need it. You know, Dick just says, "Oh, we're gonna erase memories." That's it. You don't need a scene of it happening. Because why do you need to know how they erase memories? Is it gonna come in later? Are they gonna use it on someone else? No, then who cares? It's not necessary. That first movie was so tight, so well paced. This one, it's a bit sloppy. I'll admit. The animation is great. I hate the look of the new supers. They look horrible. They don't even look like Pixar. They don't even look like Incredibles. The colors are bright and flashy and ugly, and their faces, like they're like they just wanted to sell toys to these people, but they're so ugly. The fight scene with Violet and Vortex or the portal lady was really cool. Um, that's about it. I will say it, people tend to be like mad at how Helen was characterized. Like, why did she take the job? She has to worry about her kids. I disagree with that. In the movie, they go over it very clearly. She really was hesitant about taking the job, but she ultimately decided they are living in a motel and they have no money. And if they want to maybe have a chance at creating a world that's more tolerable towards supers, this is probably the way to go. They kind of bring up a point where the kids are like, so you have to break the law to try and make the law better. They didn't really, they should have honed in a bit on that, on a bit of the crisis she's having, because she even jokes like, oh, I'm a bit of a hypocrite right now, listening to a police scanner. They should have tied in a bit more with like the themes of it. I feel like the first movie was definitely pretty much all plot with a lot of good subtext, with the glory days and letting go. This movie felt like it juggled so much that it didn't have time to focus on a good plot or some good themes. And that's all I'll say on that. I'm spending too much time on Incredibles 2. I think it's fine. I it's fine. It's like a 7 out of 10. I know some people will probably say it's a horrible 1 out of 10, the worst movie ever, Pixar's worst movie, it's terrible, horrible sequel. But it really isn't. I know I said a lot of negative stuff, but there's still stuff to like. Okay, enough on Incredibles 2. Let's go on to Toy Story 4. Damn, we're really in the sequel era. The bring back stuff from a long time ago. Toy Story 4, let's see. Put it in C. It's better than Dory, not as good as Incredibles. I know everyone is going to say completely unnecessary movie, and I agree, but I have some nuance to it. Firstly, if this was like it's made billions of dollars, like at least a billion. It's like their second most profitable, maybe their most profitable. Without a movie like this that pulls in that kind of numbers, they can't make the new IPs. They just can't. Disney has doesn't have endless money. They just shovel to movies that won't make money. Inside Out 2, I think, made the most. I think that made like 2 billion. But at the time, yeah, it was probably their biggest one. Secondly, just because the camera stops rolling doesn't mean characters have less adventures. Doesn't mean everything stops for them. You can watch Toy Story 3 and turn it off and never watch Toy Story 4, you know? That's your trilogy. That's how it feels for me. I don't have to acknowledge Toy Story 4 much. Like, yeah, it happened, whatever, but those three movies still exist in their vacuum and they're great. But Toy Story 4, you know, there's always they now live with Bonnie. There's more stories they're gonna go through. Question is, how was this story? And I don't think it was very good. I'm gonna be honest. I think the characterization of Woody was horrible. I'm not the first person to say that. He comes to his conclusion way too rashly over a character that was barely a blip in the first and second movie. It just felt weird. This movie it didn't really feel. I don't know. I don't think they tackled their themes as well as they did in the other ones. The animation is good. I think the Key and Peele stuff is a bit, yeah, 6, 7 years later. Don't say it. I don't think it holds up as well. It's not as funny, but it's fine. Um, yeah, I don't know. Keanu Reeves, I don't know. I think it's fine. It's a 7 out of 10. Easily the worst Toy Story, but it's not horrible. I think if I wanted to be like if I wanted to base it on how I feel it does in respect to the characters and the franchise, I think it would be lower. But as a movie, as it stands, I think it's fine. I think people hate it too much, but just ignore it. If you don't like it, come on. Okay, moving on. We're in the top. We're in the last, not top, but the last like eight. Okay, let's beat it up. Onward. Onward was a very good movie. I absolutely loved this movie. Loved the bonding, here it's in B, between Toy Story and Monsters University. The bonding of the brothers. I can listen. Seeing Chris Pratt and Tom Holland in Pixar form on the cover, I was like, oh god, this is one of those ones they threw out during COVID era. This is gonna stink. I was surprised as someone who doesn't really want to see those two in a movie like this. Doesn't think Chris Pratt is amazing on his own. He's great in Guardians, but didn't really want to see him in a movie like this. I don't have an affection for D&D. This movie just really hit for me. I thought it was funny, witty, clever, really good plot, good pacing. I was endeared by the. There's always the clumsy brother and the guy who they have there's some tropes in here, some cliches, but I thought it was really a really cute movie. The stuff with the dad was really great. You know, him giving his moment with the dad with realizing he had someone as a father figure and he didn't. That was a really great moment. It's frustrating to see they didn't get as much time as they wanted, but it was really cool. I like the lore of the universe. Magic kind of became obsolete. It's a really cool premise. I like you know, when stories kind of have that as a bit of in the setting. But yeah, I really like this movie. I think it's probably pretty slept on, to be honest. Pretty slept on movie. Okay, Soul. This might be controversial, but I don't love Soul. I thought it was extremely unique. Extremely unique. Really, really cool. I love the message of you never know when your life is gonna end. Just do the things you want to do. Be the musician you want to be. Try. Put yourself out there. Don't settle. I really like the messaging. I love the voice acting. I love the animation. But I don't know. Something about it just but as it got towards the end, I kind of just I feel like maybe the pacing, but there's not a scene I could think of I would take out, but I just feel like it could have wrapped up sooner. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I love the musical setting. I love, the different perspectives of the characters. Like that's the greatest point of this movie. The greatest aspect is the two main characters almost having philosophical debates trying to convince the other one of how they see the world. Easily the coolest part of the movie along with the visuals, and everything else. I thought it was great. I thought it was great character work. The cat was very funny. I love cats. Yeah, easy 7 out of 10. It's a great watch. It's not one I'd put on, in the background. Or like, oh, let's put a movie on. Let's put on Soul. But that was really good. I could see how this could be someone's favorite easily. Okay, Luca. Once again, a slept-on movie, man. It's easily in the B category. I think maybe just below Onward. Yeah, Luca's great. Animation is fresh. It's vibrant. Just kids being kids. It's a very fun coming-of-age story. Very, very unique and fun premise. Fun setting. This is gonna be one I'm not gonna have a lot to say about because I just think it's a really charming movie. That's it. It's a really charming movie. Okay, Turning Red. Yeah, it's been a while since we put one down here, but I'm gonna put it down there. It's like, a five. Once again, this is one of those movies similar to Brave, where I am not the target audience. I am not a woman. I have never gone through puberty as a teenage girl and had to get a period. Straight up. So it's endearing in the way it tackles a coming of age story, but like the kind of anime inspired K-pop loving all that, I really don't like that, and I really don't care for that. Some of the jokes were funny, like the overbearing parents, I do have a fondness for those kind of like first generation kid stories of the parents who, they have high expectations for their kid, and the kid they don't can they're kind of between two worlds of like growing up in America but being raised by parents who weren't growing up there, and I like that. It's interesting, and that's my favorite part of the movie is the mom and her connection with her daughter, but I feel like there's a lot in between where it's just not my kind of movie. So, yeah, I don't know if it's fair, but I'm putting it down in D. Okay, Lightyear. A lot of people don't like this one, and I gotta say, it ain't it. Just like why, you know? Like this is the movie Andy saw. I'm not gonna be one of those guys and say like all the stuff in this movie would be inaccurate to how he was portrayed in Toy Story, but I don't know. It Don't get me wrong, the first act I thought was actually incredible, but just not as a Buzz Lightyear movie. Like I just feel like this movie was so intense and trying to be emotional, and it just should not have been that kind of movie. But for what it is trying to be, which is that it does it well in the first act. The whole like Walmart Interstellar story was really great. I thought it was heartwarming and heartbreaking. Him and his story is Buzz's connection with what's her face? Sorry. I guess that means I don't like it, but that's not true. I don't hate it. I kind of dislike the movie, but I just it meanders a lot. It's very predictable. The twist with Zurg, I'm not gonna be an elitist, but I think it was really stupid. It makes no sense with what they set up for the character. You're making a Lightyear movie. Be authentic, please. I think it was a really dumb thing. It was interesting, but it's not what this movie should have done. Taika Waititi's character and the other little nitwits, I think they're really dumb, pointless, add nothing. They're just there to be funny. Like Taika Waititi, he's not funny in this movie. The old lady isn't funny either. They don't do much. I don't I don't even remember much about this movie, I'm gonna be honest, except like the beginning, which is like the only real good part in my opinion. Yeah, it's fine. It's like I don't know, a six. Yeah, like a six. Okay. Elemental. Finally, we have another good one. Elemental is so refreshing. You could put this on. This is a put on the TV movie and chill. This is like Monsters Inc., Incredibles, Nemo, Ratatouille, Toy Story 2. This is the kind of movie you can throw on. And not just in the background, or you actually sit down and watch it on a good day. It's Saturday, you put it on, not much to do, maybe you're vacuuming, you put it on. Or, and just, I'm not saying like, oh, it's a background movie. Oh, it's a great turn your brain off movie. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's such an easy watch. Even rewatching, I think it's fun. Like it's a cute movie. The visuals are amazing. I've seen people say it's cliche, it's generic, it's a dumb generic rom-com. Sure. I don't watch rom-coms, so I like this, okay? I think it's nice. I think it's a really cute movie. I think the connection between the two characters with Wade and Ember is really great. I like the dad. And then once again, it's that story that I like with Turning Red, that element of like the first generation kid caught between two worlds. I really dig that, and I think this movie does it really, really well. I really like it. And honestly, that song they play, the original song they made for this movie, it kicks a lot of ass. I think it's a good song too. Visuals, the story, it's just great pacing. It's a very fun and cute movie. I like it. Easy, 9 out of 10. Okay, Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 is an easy S tier. Hell yes, we finally have some more S tiers. This movie is awesome. It's the first one, but even up just a bit better. Not much to say. It does everything what the first movie does, but better. I can't remember a lot of specifics. I apologize, but I just know I really like this movie. I thought it was really great. It's no wonder it's their highest grossing movie, but it is a wonder on why the heck it took them 10 years, what, 9, 10, 9 years to make a sequel? especially with how much money it made. You go to Disney Springs, you see Inside Out tours everywhere, everywhere. I don't know, I don't know why they're not making more. I'm not saying pump it out, but like, I'm just kind of surprised. Okay, we get our last movie here. Our last movie, Elio, the most recent one. Um, hate to go out on a whimper, but I just think it's fine. It's cute. It's a cute little movie. I think the main character is a little annoying. I like the relationship that Elio forms with the kid of the conqueror guy. I like him kind of pretending to be the leader of Earth and, you know, kind of give me Mass Effect vibes a little bit. But I don't know. I don't remember that much about it, even though it was the last one that I watched and I had to wait for it to come on streaming. But I just think it's fine. I actually find the little guy cute. I can imagine you being like, oh, it's just an ugly, stupid, toy selling character. But I think the little guy was cute. Um, you know, I don't know. I thought it was nice. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead and attack me in the comments if you disagree. Just let me know how you feel about it. Any differences in opinions. Maybe you have more, things you want to share about some of the movies that I liked. Maybe you wish I touched on different topics or themes of it that were really cool. Yeah, just let me know. Thank you.